morning everybody, Vasilis Girasis for nakedtrader.com. I'd like to begin this morning's webcast by just mentioning that we are seeing a broad-based rally on the South African market this morning. The JSE up just over 400 points the last time I checked. The Rand hedge is performing quite nicely. The Rand has weakened a little bit overnight, it did touch the 9 Rand level yesterday. I still think that the Rand could possibly trade through 9 Rand and head up to about 9 Rand 30 or possibly even 9 Rand 40 in the short term. As such, our Rand hedge is performing quite strongly. We've also had SA Breweries as a good Rand hedge as well, which came out with results this morning. That stock is up 6% on the day to trade at about 400 Rand a share. We're also seeing stocks like Richemont having moved up quite nicely the last few days. British American Tobacco also trading up quite nicely on the back of the weaker Rand. So the Rand hedge is performing quite nicely, but we are seeing a broad-based rally in this market and a relatively strong day. On that note, I'd just like to pick up on a couple of graphs. S&P 500 is one that I would like to visit. This is a graph that we've spoken about a little bit in the past. We do have this upward trend line that goes back to 2009. We know the American market has sold off significantly over the last couple of weeks, and as we can see here, it broke the upward trend line to close below that. We also have the simple 40-day moving average in line with that line. So basically what's happening here now is the area of support has now become resistance. If we look at the RSI, we did say that the S&P 500 was possibly oversold in the short term and we could see a bit of a bounce, but 1390 seems to be the area of resistance now. I think we could see the S&P take a while to break through that 1390, or rather it might not break through it significantly in the short term, the next couple of trading days, but should it break and hold above 1390, I think then the first stop for the S&P is to retest its highs of 1470, and thereafter it could possibly resume its rally. So trade this one with caution, tight stop losses to the downside, but look for a break and hold above 1390 before we enter more calls on this trade to go long. Another graph that is looking interesting on the local front now, Sasol. Sasol has been in a downward trend, where as you can see this line here, just running across all those tops there. This goes back to about September. This stock has now broken up. We can see this is today's price, 383.18. It has now broken through that line, and we expect that line now to become support as opposed to resistance. So if we do have Sasol pulling back to around about the 375 mark, we would be strong buyers at this level, and we suggest buy at 375, 380 to go long. We feel that if the Rand continues to weaken, we could see Sasol running up to retest that 400 mark at the top there. Another graph which is looking quite interesting, Anglo Gold. Anglo Gold has been pretty range bound recently. A lot of talk on the actual gold price, a lot of calls on the gold price to go higher. We're seeing a lot of optimism, a lot of optimistic buying on the gold price at around about 1700, 1710 level. As such, I'd just like to call out another graph that we have here on Anglo Gold, again this time with the Fibonacci retracements. As we can see here, 270 Rand seems to be quite a significant level. We can see a lot of wicks here, so a lot of buying in coming in during the day, a lot of support at 270. We do have an upward trend line which goes back to about July. It broke below that, but we do have support at 270. Now this morning we see we've got a green candle there above the 275 mark. It's broken. If it does hold above that level, we think that this could rally up to about 285 or so first stop, and thereafter through 295. So we're bullish on Anglo Gold. We say pick some up at around about the 275 mark, go long with a target price of about 290 or so in the short term. This is Vasilis Girasis for nakedtrader.com.